Hello guys, Ben here, and I'm going to say sorry for the air conditioning in the background, but it's needed. Okay, so today I'm debating whether or not to work on the, we'll call it the Lord's house, but I guess calling it the Lord's house might be probably inaccurate. We'll call it the Jarl's house. We'll give these guys a Jarl. Which, by the way, Jarl, you know, is pretty cool. I did explore those caves. They're actually not that much of something you would explore, so it's not really that big of a, you know, what you calls it. By the way, that looks really awesome. Anyway. Nope. Sorry about that. Time set. Day. Or whether we're going to work on the Jarl's house, or whether I'm going to start add a few more things to the town or slightly improve it. Because, boy, does this need improving. Actually, I can start improving some of this stuff. You know what? I'm not going to move this. But what I am going to do, and like I said, we're going to slowly do these improvements. Okay, so what I need is go to survival inventory, replace that stair with that. There we go. There we go. Ta-da! Now you can actually get inside the library. Also, these are definitely, a lot of this stuff is going to need to get smoothed out at some point. Yeah. I mean, I guess you can get up into there, but okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, okay. Goes here. I guess I just wanted to take care of that. So, yeah, I guess that works. Anyway, before anybody forgets, if you're enjoying the content, you know, the typical stuff, like, comment, subscribe, you know, just that type of thing. I did lead the sheep in... Did I show that, or did I not show that? I honestly don't remember. But the lambs are now inside. And I should probably grab myself a sword. There we go. I guess I'll keep that stuff just because. I should probably put a chest up here for the wealth and stuff. Do I even have a chest? No. How do I not have a chest? Well, I mean, I obviously have a chest. I mean, where else would my heart go? By the way, for those of you who don't know, that's kind of a joke. We'll go ahead and put those in there because riches, yay! And let's go to the butcher. Yeah, I think I'm going to put some stuff near the Jarl's house. But first, let's go to the butcher. I think next episode I'm going to renovate this place, this building. Well, first we're going to put that there, we're going to put that there. I'll put the wool here for now. You know, if it's food and stuff, I guess I'll keep that stuff. Seriously? Yep. I switched versions back to play a game. Unfortunately, that didn't actually happen. Controls, god damn. Back to game. But yeah, I'm going to renovate the butcher because that needs to happen anyway. The church will be the next one that gets rebuilt, but for now, well, let's put a house here. Let's put one in the style that I'm going to be doing them in. Okay. There's probably going to be like a merchant or something. Okay. Okay. And yeah. Okay. So how far back is that? 3 on either side of that. Let's go ahead and... because this is not actually going to be a very large house. It may look like it. And guys, if you really want to, you can go ahead and use these designs in your own worlds or, you know, your own, well, I guess it wouldn't be in your own worlds, but, you know, on servers or whatever. Okay. Obviously, these are going to be, you know, the pillars. This is actually larger than the farmer's house, but, you know, that's to be expected. This is going to be like some sort of, this is going to be like a merchant or something. Okay, so 4 for there. Should I make... yeah, I think that'd actually be really awesome. Now let's just kick this up here, just because I think it'll look better like this. Especially if I put that there as like a beam. Yeah, that'll look really nice. There we go. Ooh, yeah, that looks really awesome. I know these are going to look flat, but, you know, it's kind of, I hate saying it, but that's a little bit of the point. Because I don't have a lot of space, and since this is in a village, you know, adding the depth and stuff that I need, I'm going to have to do it in ways other than, you know, moving these back and stuff like that. Actually, the way I can do that is like this. Just tiny little details. There we go. Now I'll worry about, you know, actually, if I put the stairwell on the back, I think that might actually work the best. There we go. Okay, let's flip this back. And really the entire point of doing it like this is because, you know, villages didn't get designed, you know, they didn't come up all at once, and what you're seeing is how one, you know, starts off as did I really? Okay. There we go. Nope, don't want that there. Oh yeah, since this is the back wall. And that actually allows me to do the thing where I am putting the furnace in the back. We're going to get this. into this, which is going to be our little smokestack. And I'll worry about carrying that up further. But if you look at the tiny little house, we'll call it a cottage. You know, this is something that you would probably wind up using as like your starter house. And actually, I just want to add a little bit more depth. Yeah, like that. Does that actually add the right amount? Yeah, from the street that'll look, you know, that'll be nice. But as you can see, we've got a very, very small area in here. And when I say a small area, I kind of mean a small area. Where are my spruce slabs? There we go. Since I am in a house / time set day, there we go. Yeah, the stairwell can be in the hearth. Oh. And not only that, but why did I do that when our floors aren't spruce? Oops. But this kind of mirrors, I guess we'll call it, you know, the little one-room houses. Also, good gravy. One, two, three, yeah. Okay, so that's nice height. And, you know, it's easy to build, you know, large buildings and not really care about, you know, where you're placing your details. But with something like this, you really do need to be aware of it. Okay, so if I put one there, I'm not going through yet. Okay, cool. So, as you can see, we don't have a terribly large amount of space here. And I'm trying to make it so that this will fit in with, you know, these the pre-existing buildings, but I want to make it, you know, a little bit more unique. So that way we know which ones are old, so that when we give them an update, you know, that'll happen. And I'll probably be adding some of this stuff off camera to show you just how much it progresses. How do I not have the stairs of these? Oh, I'll get them from the Jarl's house. And, you know, I may actually... There we go. And, yep, there we go. So, you know, the first thing I want to do is I want to put these, oops, out here, right? And let's go ahead and extend these up. Do I want to put them up 2 or just 1? I'm actually seriously wonder. Okay. A little worried because the light went down. Or was that just me sitting down? Yeah, it wound up being just me sitting down. Okay. Oops. Actually, I'm not gonna... I want to peak at ridge going this way. Do I? No, I want to put... Okay, so the way I'm going to do it... Oops, and I did not want to put any there. Okay, like that, and like that. And there's actually a reason why I'm going to be doing it like this. And this... How did I lose the cobble wall? How am I losing these from my inventory? And there's a reason why I'm putting that up through there. better. You won't notice it from a distance. I think it'll be fine. Okay, there we go. And the reason why I'm doing it like this, whoops, is because, there we go. I'm debating how I want to do that part, but what I do know, and actually I need to grab this because these are going to be important. So I at least want those like that, so those go up there like that. Roofs are actually incredibly difficult to do correctly in Minecraft. Just because of the way, you know, it works. You almost have to plan them out, or else it's just not going to work. And actually I should... There we go. You really, like I said, you really almost have to just completely plan it out. And I think that would be correct because there we go, yeah. Okay. And like I said, if you're paying attention to how I'm doing the roofing, realize there we go. And bust those out. That. And the reason why I'm doing it like this is because it'll be easier for me to figure out how exactly I need to nope, that actually keeps you from going downstairs. Good to know. Oh. There we go. There we go. Let's pop one or two more down. Yeah. Actually, that's not terrible. Okay. Yay, church bells. If anybody's curious why I said yay, church bells, it's because they're church bells. Off in the distance. What if I just carry this all the way across? Like I said, I'm trying to figure out how best to do this. Put tiny little windows there. Yeah, I think that's probably the best. Leave it like this. Oops. And just kind of leave those as like little things where you can look out. Yeah, I think that'll work best. As much as, oops, I want to make it a nice, super clean design, I think it's probably best if I don't and say I did. Oops. There we go. I'm actually doing pretty well on timing of this. There we go. Did I keep this area clean? There we go. There we go. As you can see, designing a house like this can be a little difficult, but I don't want this guy to be a merchant of. I guess I'll figure that out. this guy. There we go. Slash time set day. And, oh yeah. Should probably, well, honestly, does it really need those? Yeah, no, it doesn't. Okay, there we go. It's peaked. It actually looks incredibly nice. Now, if you're walking down the street, if you're cruising down the street and you're 6'4", actually, let's go ahead and make this path. There we go. I just think it's a little bit wrong that this street doesn't go through and connect. Though I suppose it's because of the farm, the incredibly large farm, that gets in the way. There you go. So if we look at the village, you know, yeah, these two, this is actually a very interesting village. And here's why. It has these two streets, one here, and two different ones, one here and one here. Interesting. Sorry, I thought I saw something. Anyway, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 farms generated. You see, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 of the smaller houses, 2, just one house with the ladder, okay. Then it's got 1, 2, 2 of the bigger houses, and then 1 of the super large houses. Has a library and a church and a butcher. And so far we've added 2 houses, 2 buildings. We've added a merchant's house and a farmer. We've added his house. And actually I need to move this here, move this here. There we go. Just to make it look nice. And notice how I added that around it so that it can hold up the roof. And then we've of course added the Jarl's house, who isn't a king, but you know, it's kind of like the Lord. If we walk up here, I mean, it's pretty obvious that, you know, this is really just there for, I guess we'll call it appearances. This isn't so much an impenetrable fortress. I mean, the Jarl's house is pretty vulnerable if we're being completely honest. Also, let's add the door. Because we should probably add a door. There we go. I mean, if you really needed to, you could probably look in on the Jarl and his lady. But you know, it's turning into a nice looking village, which is really the whole point of this. So next episode, we will probably be working on the Jarl's house, just because I think it needs it the most. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. See you next time, and bye.